Hi church, the title of today's message is Where is Tabitha? Now if you know the book of Acts, you will know that Tabitha is found in Acts chapter 9, and the Bible says that she was a disciple who was always doing good and helping the poor. In fact, when you see the church in the book of Acts, you will see a church that was always doing good and helping the poor and the needy. For example, in Acts chapter 2, all the believers would share their possessions with people in need. In Acts chapter 3, Peter and John stopped for the beggar who was beside the temple. In Acts chapter 4, you see all the believers sharing their possessions. In Acts chapter 6, you see the church serving the widows and giving food to the widows. In Acts chapter 9, you see Tabitha. In Acts chapter 10, you see Cornelius, who was always giving to the poor. In Acts chapter 11, you see the church in Antioch giving an offering to the church in Jerusalem at a time of famine. In Acts chapter 12, we see the church praying for Peter when Peter was in prison and in isolation. Because what we see when we come back to the church in the book of Acts is a church that was always looking after the poor and needy. Those widows they looked after. They looked after people who were struggling financially. They looked after people who were isolated and who were lonely, whether that be people in prison or whether that be widows. And today, at the time of the coronavirus, I believe we can be like the church in the book of Acts. I believe we can remember the poor and the needy, just as Tabitha did. I believe we can remember people who are maybe physically disabled or vulnerable, or people who are in isolation at the moment during the next few weeks or months. I encourage you to be like Tabitha. Who is God asking you to help today? Even if it's just one person. It might involve taking shopping to someone's door. It might involve giving somebody a phone call or sending them a card. But church, we can all be like Tabitha, doing good and helping the poor at this time, being the church, even if we can't meet in the church building. May the Lord bless you, and remember today that God is looking for someone like Tabitha. Goodbye.